Let's look at the different audit requirements. What were the state of the executions and the e-signature? E-signature, as I said earlier, is pretty commonly used in these environments to comply to the various requirements they have. Two e-signatures can be configured for a project test case review or approval, test plan review approval, suites, results, any of those artifacts. And e-signatures can be configured for a lock or unlock as well. So if you were to lock an artifact and say no modifications, no further modifications allowed, you will be able to lock the artifact, and then when somebody has to explicitly enter the comments and say, I'm locking this artifact because I don't want this to be modified due to this reason. And if somebody has to unlock that, they have to mention that as a comment and say, this is what, this is the reason why I'm reopening the artifact, and then the system will capture all that information. So tomorrow, if you were to present that information to an auditor, on this particular time, this test case was locked, and till a duration of 3 months, this was not touched in the system, nothing was modified. All that can be pulled out using those reports. Before we go to the process template, let me go back to the one of the test cases, and I want to show you the history on how does that get captured. So this is a test case, and if I were to go on the history section, it shows me all the details. For example, the last modification which happened was on October 29th, and then what was modified, who modified that. And similarly, go back on the history on October 23rd, the estimate was set to 3 hours. And similarly, go down, a new attachment was added on September 18th, right? So you can very well export this out into a PDF and then show that these things have not been modified, or what was the reason why this was modified. Similar things can be seen in the execution results also. So you can see what was modified, who actually ran the test, and then what happened in the actual test. So what we saw in the admin page, and that of course was not the complete set of process constraints, is really saved in a template. So you can create a process which you want to, let's say, across the organization you want a process to be followed, or across a BU you want a process to be followed. So in one project area you can create that sort of a process, and then you can export that out. You can extract those best practices out and reuse for quickly setting up new projects. Different roles and permissions can be extracted out, workflows, templates, various project preferences and properties can be extracted out, and then you can quickly reuse all this information while you're creating a new project area. The best practices will be utilized if you do this. So once done, you can always replicate it across different projects. Now, while this happens at one end, how does the tool actually help me to track all this information? Do I have to modify something in the tool, or does that happen automatically? So it will actually happen automatically. So whoever is doing the modification, they will see, they will not have to do anything extra. The tool will capture all this information. So while you're running a test, for example, while you're running a test, the state of the artifacts will be captured in the test result. What was the state of the test plan? Was it approved or not? So the test plan state was approved. And then the test case state, what was the state of that? So in this case, I can very well see it was in draft state. The script state. And then at the bottom screen, you can see that there are different steps of a test which were run. First of them was JKE login and then select an account. But then who actually ran this step? The right side you can see there's a tested by, and you see the username and the timestamp at which this test was run. So you can quickly find out what was run by whom and then at what date. If there was a modification done at a later stage, that will also get captured. So you can see what were the details. If a test was ran at some point and somebody came back and modified that step, you can very well find that out. Let me open a test result, and we'll quickly see this in the tool as well. So the last column here, this is a test result where it captures all the details, the test environments, any defects which were created, what were the previous results, and this current results details. It has formal reviews and any associated e-signatures which are present. At the bottom you can see there were different columns where it says who was the tester who actually ran this test and when was this run. It captures all that information. And then it shows what was the state of the test plan or the test case when it was actually run. So this was run at some point, and then what was the state at the start of the test. All this helps while you are preparing for an audit report. Okay. Now also look at what is the sort of enforcement you can put in the tool. When you want to mandate users from doing certain actions when they're running a test or they're putting up